All right, peace and much love. Zin Uru here. I just wanted to put together this quick video message for a reason and for a purpose. Earlier today, I was on Facebook, and somebody had posted a video, and it showed that this woman, she took a quote, or she just took a few words that she wanted to use for quotes, and so she put these words into a program. It was a quote generator. And so she put like 4 or 5 words into this quote generator, and then this quote generator generated like 30 quotes. And so she took those quotes and then put little fancy, meme boxes around them and made them look all fancy, and then posted them up like it was original content from her website or from her Facebook page or whatever it is. And it's a content. It creates content. It's algorithm intelligence, or computer intelligence, or AI, as we would call it, artificial intelligence. And it had me thinking. I was like, wow, it's that easy for these so-called content creators to use an AI program to generate their content. Nothing from the soul, nothing from wisdom, nothing from experience, just this fallacy from the computer. And then I thought about it. I was like, wow, this has actually been going on for quite a while now. This isn't new technology in that way. And I looked then on Facebook. I was scrolling through Facebook and just noticing, I've said it before, there's so much bad advice on Facebook, and I couldn't really put my finger on why people would be sharing so much bad advice. And then I saw this and I was like, wow, there are people right now posting or reposting this content, this so-called content that's created by an algorithm, that's created by a computer, that's created by a robotic mind, on relationships and spirituality specifically. And then they're posting that as some kind of deep post or some kind of meaningful post, when it's actually none of that. You see, a computer doesn't have a soul. There's no soul in a computer. A computer will never be sentient. A computer will never have a soul. It's like literally impossible. If you understand physics, if you understand quantum physics, if you understand God, the universe, and nature, you realize that there will never be a sentient computer, even if they try and program it in a way that make us believe that it's sentient in some way. But it's all algorithm based. So that's what artificial intelligence is. It's already here. What they're calling artificial intelligence has been here for a minute. So back to those quotes, back to the quote generator, the content generator. So people are sharing these quotes from this content generated algorithm that aren't really coming from another human, and sharing that advice, computer advice on how to be a human, computer advice on how to have set boundaries in a relationship. Not that you can set boundaries in a relationship, but make sure you speak to somebody with experience, an expert in their field, so to speak. See, people are sharing these algorithm quotes and wondering what happened to humanity. Why are there so many people who are not in relationships right now? Most people have a relationship with their phone, but don't have a significant partner in their life. There's way too many single people out there, and they're not procreating. This is part of the AI system. This is part of the control mechanism system that's being programmed by a technocracy. See, we don't live in a democracy anymore. We live in a technocracy. There's no such thing as communism or socialism or capitalism anymore. It's all technocracy. The whole thing has become technocracy. And those who run the tech industries are the ones who are running the world, the way the world thinks, the way the world acts. And the easiest way to divide a civilization is to divide a family. And it's easier to just make a system or make a way where there's no more family. So then there's no family to have to conquer. There's no family to have to divide. And the people with their selfish, inconsiderate needs, which is sin, goes on and gets a quote about relationships. And then they see this relationship quote that doesn't come from an expert, doesn't come from a human, doesn't come from a soul, doesn't come from a spirit. It comes from a computer, it comes from a robot. And then they take that advice, and it's not like people share these memes and it's quick. It's like a quick hit. It's like a quick, but it goes into the subconscious programming of the mind, and it starts creating and generating an artificial reality for the human. This is the way that the mind works. And so the same thing is happening with spirituality too. People posting these spiritual quotes, and I'm like, wow, that is some off. I've studied spirituality my whole life, and I see these quotes and I'm like, wow, that is really off. But if you look at them, they may make sense to the mind. They can trick the mind. But if you have a soul and you tune into the heart and you speak the language of soul and heart, you won't be fooled. But I see so many people, smart people, intelligent people, soulful people, falling for this, getting led by computer programs and computer algorithms. Let me tell you right now, the future of humanity depends on us holding on to our humanity. We are at war right now for our very humanity. Everything else is a distraction, because what's taking over is the AI system is taking over. It's taking over finances. It's taking over government. It's already taken over governments. We saw that with everything that's gone on since 2020. The whole world is ran by an algorithm. The whole world is ran by this. This is where these people, these so-called heads of state and these so-called leaders will put questions to a great computer and go forward with the advice that they are given from that computer. So back to these memes and stuff, it may seem harmless, but it's very harmful. If you want to know about spirituality, read the classical texts, but really get into your own meditation, affirmation, and prayer, and learn about God within ourselves. We don't need to go to outside sources. Yes, there are great teachers. There are wonderful teachers that we should listen to. Many, Lao Tzu, KRS-One, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ. And we can listen to, we can hear the words of wisdom through time because they resonate with the soul. And that's what creates humanity. And the other day I saw this also on YouTube, and it didn't sit with me right. It was a website that says God is saying, and it was a YouTube channel that said God is saying to you. And so I clicked on it, and it's got all this spiritual advice and music, and it's like a computer reading a script. And to the mind at first it sounded like, wow, I was like, wow, this is some good advice. And then I said, no, it's not good advice. Let me put it into the heart. Let me put it into the soul. And I realized it was soulless advice. There was heartless advice, that there was no human experience there. And then I saw this thing on the quote generator today, and that's only one step further. You could take the quotes, the little meme quotes, and then just have a computer read them, put them behind a video on YouTube, and put it out there like it's original content. And people are so naive in this. So they're taking this bad spiritual advice, this bad relationship advice, and then wondering what happened to their humanity, wondering why they can't connect with another human being, wonder why it's so hard to find another human being to connect with, especially in a romantic relationship or a marriage type relationship or a partnership type relationship, wondering why they can't have that no more, wondering what happened when there's billions of single people out there. And that's what's happened, is the humanity has been taken out of it because it's computer-based algorithm is the advice that people are following. And then they may even be regurgitating that as a human. So be mindful. This takes discernment. We have to discern, have a discerning spirit, have a discerning soul about what information and knowledge that we're taking in. See, hip hop is the last of the human skills. And part of hip hop is one of the 9 elements is street knowledge. And street knowledge is knowledge of self through experience. See, we have to experience things in life. And things in life, that experience comes at a price. We go through hardships, we go through pain, but then we turn that and transmute that into wisdom. And then we learn with that wisdom, that's soul force, that's soul fire. That's what it means to be a human, is to have that wisdom that comes from within, and to know other humans who walked the path before us, or other people who walked the path before us, who can share that knowledge and share that wisdom. So my nobility, be very mindful of what you take in, of what you consume off the internet. Go back to the source. Where did that quote come from? Is that quote actually true? Is that saying actually true? Is that advice actually true? See, there are actual relationship people who've been studying relationships and teaching relationships for 30 plus years who can give sound advice. But if you're just bouncing all over and taking all this madness and this insanity in, if you eat insanity, you're going to regurgitate insanity. If you eat lies, you're going to regurgitate lies. If you learn lies, you're going to regurgitate lies. And that system is depending on it, because if they can keep man and woman separate, if they can keep the family separate and there's no more families, they've already won. You see, because the family is the most powerful force that God has ever created. So when we have a family, when we have a community, when we have unity, the powers that want to be, they can't control that, because we can govern ourselves that way. But if they have us all divided and people breaking up for no reason because they read a stupid meme that was computer driven, and they break up with somebody that they may even love, but then they turn off the love inside of them and just turn into a computer driven brain. See, what it is humanity then becomes the artificial intelligence. And what artificial is good? What is good about artificial? Artificial preservatives, artificial foods are terrible for the body, which is the same thing that artificial ideas and artificial advice is terrible for the mind, terrible for the soul, terrible for the spirit, terrible for our humanity. So we have to get back inside of our true nature and know what that is. There is a war going on for the human soul. right now. My nobility, wake up. We have to reclaim our humanity. The future is depending on us doing that. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you all. Be mindful of what advice you take on the internet. Go to the source. Know who you're getting it from. Go to those who really know what they're talking about. Human to human interaction is a thing. It's important. It's more important than this screen. It's more important than me and you interacting here on a screen or on a video voice than an actual person to person. So my nobility, peace and much love to you. Hip hop is the future. You are the future. We survive Armageddon. There it is. Hip.